I know not everybody is going to agree, with the whole, gay marriage thing. And I don't take it personal, but when these people that are against gay marriage use ridiculous stuff, I mean, gay couples, we realize that, a guy is important, a male figure is important to, kids, whether it's a boy or a girl, that having a male figure is important. We know that. That's why we always pick some male to be that male role model in the kid's life. So the kid has that. The kid has that, figure in their life. Just like a male gay couple knows that a female, role model is important for a kid, whether it's a boy or girl. So they allow their surrogate to be a part of the kid's life. So for these people to say that, we're throwing out the whole gender thing and making it not be important, that's BS. And, honestly, I can't imagine a mom wanting to marry her son, or, some adult wanting to marry an animal. Honestly, that animal cannot give consent to marry. When a couple gets married, the first thing they're asked is, have you two come here on your own accord and consent to marriage? And the two people say yes. Honestly, you're denying a gay couple the right to get legally married just because they're gay. And honestly, the whole kids being taught it in school kind of thing, I just feel really strongly that if a teacher is going to talk about families, then she has to talk about the families that have two moms or two dads. She can't just talk about the traditional family, the mom, dad, two kids, and a dog, and a white picket fence. She has to talk about all types of families. And for these parents to say, well, I don't want my kid to hear about the homosexual lifestyle because I don't want my child to be influenced to become gay. I don't want my kid to think it's okay to be gay. Well, that's your right. And if you don't want your kid to be taught this, there are options. You can put your kid in a private school, a religious private school that will teach them the views that you have, okay? But if you want your kid to have a public school, experience, eventually they're going to be taught about different types of families, whether it's by the teacher or it's by their classmates. Honestly, you can't prevent it. You can't stop it. They're going to hear about it. Because honestly, when this subject of family comes up, kids are going to hear about, other kids, families. Because not all families are the same. So you can't run away from it. Because eventually, like I said, your kid will hear about it. Whether it's by the teachers, that they have, or by a classmate that they become friends with, you know. And for you, it's a big deal. You might say, well, I don't want my kid to be friends with a kid who has 2 moms or 2 dads. You know, you shouldn't be like that. You know, I mean, you have a right to your views, but to prevent your kid from being friends with a kid just because that boy or girl has 2 moms or 2 dads, that's wrong. And for you to judge a mom and a dad that lets their son, who is a transgender kid who wants to transfer to become a female, when you're judging them for allowing him to transition from boy to girl, and you're judging them for that, I say shame on you. Because what would you rather them do? I mean, honestly, would you rather they, let their their transgender child become depressed and suicidal, and to the point that, their child commits suicide? I mean, honestly, these parents who their child says, Mom, I shouldn't have been born a male. I should have been born a female. I feel like I am a female trapped in a male body. When you try to force your child to be the sex they were born, you're just setting that child up for depression and, suicidal tendencies. I mean, your child might become a cutter or develop an eating disorder because they will hate life so much that they will cut themselves or commit suicide or whatever. And then you're going to be looking at yourself and going, oh my gosh, what did I do? Because I didn't let my child transition to the sex they felt like they should have been born. Now I only have, this tombstone to go to, or this cemetery to go to visit my child because my child committed suicide. Or imagine having to put your child in a hospital over and over again because they're trying to commit suicide. You're going to look at yourself and go, how can I stop my child from doing this? And the only way is to let them transition. And it pisses me off that these parents are, just totally judged by people because these parents choose to let their child transition and they support it. I mean, they even call their transgender child by, the gender that the child feels like they should have been born. So if it's a female child who feels like she should have been born a boy and the parents call their child a he instead of a she, they're judged. Like, oh, you're saying it's okay for, a child to, to transition and be a transgender person? Why can't they be happy with the gender they were born? Because when you realize, oh my gosh, I should have been born a female and you're a boy, that feeling doesn't go away very much. I mean, some kids, yes, it's true. They go through a phase where they feel like they should have been born one gender and then that feeling goes away. But what I'm talking about is the kids where that feeling doesn't go away. That feeling of I should have been born a different gender than I am. And those parents that support their child transitioning are judged by other parents and these Bible-thumping Christians, that think they have a right to judge parents who support their child transitioning. I mean, even parents who support their child who is gay are judged. Like, how can you be okay with the fact that you have a gay son or a gay daughter? And how can you be so loving and welcoming to their partner? You know, blah, 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 blah. You know? And it's like, back off. If these parents want to love their child, even though their child is gay, they should not be judged for that. So back off.